Welcome to the Home Education with Ease podcast. I'm your host, Christine Furman, a homeschool mom, entrepreneur, and educator with over 20 years of experience in the areas of elementary and special education. It's my mission to help you create lifelong learners and embrace a holistic approach to education at home. I'll be sharing practical strategies, inspiration, and resources to support your family. Whether you're a stay-at-home mom, a business owner, or balancing work and homeschool, you're in the right place to connect with a community that values education just as much as you do. Join us each week as we ditch the stress, embrace the joy of learning, and set your family up for a lifetime of success. Hey friend, welcome back to another inspiring episode of the Home Education with Ease podcast. I'm your host, Christine Furman, your home education expert. Well, today we're going to talk about ways that you can enjoy summer while still incorporating some simple learning moments without the overwhelm, and ways that I can walk alongside you if you're looking for a little additional support for your kiddos. Regardless of where you are on your educational journey, maybe you homeschool, maybe you stay at home and you have littles at home, maybe your kids are ages 2 to 7, or maybe they go to school, or maybe even you're trying to figure out what your plan is for next year. Are you sending your kids to school? Are you going to try to homeschool and figure out what that looks like? There's so many things that can happen over the next few months. And I just want you to know that I'm right here to walk alongside you on whatever path that you go on, and however I can support your family and your kiddos. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today, about summertime, right? Where we could talk about loss of progress, where we could talk about the lack of schedule, and what do we do during that time? What about if your kids do go to school? What do we do with those 3 months, June, July, August, that your kiddos are not actively learning like they are in school? Or what if you're homeschooling and you're like, okay, well, we're done with the curriculum. We don't necessarily want to keep following what we've been doing. We want a little break in our schedule. What do we do that's fun and engaging? I've got something for you. No matter where you're at, if you've got littles I have a program for that, or I have ideas for that. If your kiddos are struggling with reading, I have some ideas and some suggestions and resources for that. And if you're just looking for some fun, I've got you covered there. Or maybe you're just looking for community and you're saying, hey, I need some moms to get connected with. I've got you covered there too. So what I would love though is I would love for you to join the Home Education with Ease Facebook group. And within that group, we have conversations based around every podcast episode. And then I share resources and videos and just things to help support you on your journey, regardless of what that journey looks like for you. So I'm here for you, mom, no matter where you're at on your educational journey. And what I would love to know, the conversation for this week will be, what is your one goal for you, for your kids this summer? So what is that one goal for them? And maybe it's an independence goal. Maybe it's a reading goal. Maybe it's, I just want to get to the park once a month or once a week, or we just need to get out of the house, or we want to go on a vacation that is stress-free. I would love to hear it. All of those goals that you guys had for the summer, I would love to hear it. So please, please join the Facebook group and share those goals there as well. As anywhere else that you are listening, you can definitely comment in those areas as well. Well, let's dive in to ways to make this summer a time of growth, connection, and fun for your family, and how I'm here to support you every step of the way. What if this summer looked different than all the others? What if there was no overwhelm? What if there was no stressful moments? What if there was active learning that was happening in a fun way that didn't have to take a lot of time? I'm not talking hours of learning. I'm talking 15, 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes. I'm talking snuggling up on the couch and reading stories or watching a movie and talking about it. Building that connection as a family is so important. And I'm going to share ways you can do that today. Well, let's just talk about summer and the fun that summer brings. So, as a student and I went to school, so I definitely look forward to summertime, right? No bus rides, no getting up early, no homework, things like that, right? Typical, can't wait for summer to happen. Then I went to college and I became a teacher. I still had the summers off and I loved it. I look forward to it. I was excited to go to the pool and just hang out in the sunshine. I am a sunshine girl, which is now why we live in Georgia, part of the reason. And I just love seeing the sun, being in the sun. It really does brighten my mood. So I don't know about you guys. How does that feel for you? Like for me, when the sun is out, I'm in a totally different mood than when it's gloomy. So being that it's summertime, I just love seeing the sun, and then I love seeing it light longer. I mean, there are times now currently with my own kids that it's like 7:30. We're still outside on an evening walk or just the kids are out playing. And I was like, oh my goodness, we need to have dinner. Like the days just kind of go by and it's like, wow, we should probably eat. So that is some of the things that happen here for us for summer. And I just love it, like losing track of time and just embracing the moments of what summer brings. Those are all the fun things, right? The pool, the beach, going on vacation. But what about the not so fun things? What about things such as lack of structure? What about the reality of being home with siblings all day? Especially if they're in school and now they're home all the time with each other, might be a little tricky situations there. Lack of structure, right? Meaning that everyone's used to getting up early. Even though, no one in the house loves to get up early, that's the routine, right? So then summer comes along and it's like, I don't have to get up. So I'm not going to, right? And people are sleeping in and maybe just kind of hanging out, just kind of relaxing throughout the day. And the days just kind of slide right by. Or lack of structure, meaning like no one knows what to do. And it's causing that I'm bored. I don't know what to do. There's nothing to do. I'm hungry, right? If there's lack of structure, all of those things are going to come out as well. So think about these things, right? All the great things about summer, but here are all the things that are not so great about the summertime. And we're going to talk about how we can kind of make these things that may not be so great, turn them into those great moments. Not to mention, loss of progress. So let's think about this. So if your kids are in school or even if they're homeschooled, no matter the educational journey you're on right now, okay, it doesn't matter. Just picture this. If you are learning something, doesn't matter, any skill, and you are practicing it every day, you're going to continue to get better at that skill. It goes with my kids, for an example, playing piano. If they practice it every day, the song that they're practicing, they're going to get better at it. If they go for a week and don't practice because we're on vacation or we're traveling or we just forget, guess what? They're not improving their skills and they probably lost a little bit of their skills. So then that first time that they go to practice again, it's a struggle. It's a little bit harder. And they're like, oh, this is hard. I can't do this. And I'm like, you can because you did it before and we just haven't practiced. And sometimes we just need those reminders that, we haven't practiced a lot. So we need to kind of get back in the habit of it and practicing. So think about that for your kids' education too. Again, no matter where you're at, how are we going to keep our kids' education that they are continuing to practice those skills? Continuing to learn, continuing to improve on what they've already learned. And like I said, I'm not talking about an entire day. I'm not talking about going from a whole school year into another school season. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about how are we keeping those skills sharp? And if you guys have been around for a while, you know that really is the philosophy of EduPlay Learning. It's really just about keeping our skills sharp. It's not about long days. Home education is not about schooling at home. It's very much about looking at the skills that we want to learn and how can we incorporate those into our everyday life. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. How can we take those skills that they've learned over this last year and incorporate them very quickly into our summer days? And now I understand if you guys have middle schoolers or kids that are like, I don't want to do any more work over the summer. I've done my work. That grade's over. I'm ready to move on to the next grade. I get it. Take a deep breath because I do understand that for sure. I taught middle school. I worked with students of all ages, and I do understand. But I just continue to encourage them. All I want you to do is read. All I want you to do is observe the world outside you. Go outside. Go look at the bugs and the trees and the birds. Go play with a friend and play games. We're going to talk about this because this is something I didn't even add into my notes, but I think it's so important that we can add this in here that it may not even be about academics. It could be about us teaching our kids how to play baseball and the correct rules when we're playing baseball. It could be how to teach our kids how to play tennis. Or what is volleyball? What are the rules for volleyball? I remember doing this one summer, and we'll probably do it again. We just started learning pickleball. And it's really exciting to teach our kids these new skills because then they're absorbing like, oh yeah, I know how to play this. Oh yeah, I've played that before. It's instilling that confidence and saying, I can do that. I can do anything because I have tried it before. And there's no pressure. Right now, my kids are in Spanish class. And I was asked the question, well, what's your goal for them out of this class? I don't know. I just want them to enjoy learning how to speak Spanish. I don't really have huge expectations or goals because my philosophy is I want them to enjoy it. I want them to understand what they're doing. Why are they doing it? And enjoy it. Like, why do you want to speak Spanish? So we can talk a second language, so we can travel the world and be able to communicate with others. And I don't think Spanish will be the last language that we learn. I really think that instilling this, and I saw this from a seasoned homeschool mom, she said that she told her daughter, listen, if you want to go to France for graduation or 16th birthday or whatever it was, here you have to learn how to speak it and read it. And when we go, that's your experience. That's basically your test, right? And then it's no pressure. It's not like a nagging kind of a way to teach our kids. They're excited to learn about what they're learning about. When they understand the why of it all, they're excited to learn about it. So think about that. Think about anything that we want to teach our kids. And I know I'm talking like teaching them all kind of things, right? Sports and languages. But let's go back to even just summer. Let's talk about teaching them their reading skills and their math skills and get outside and explore science outside and just letting them know that these skills are all around them. It doesn't just happen in the classroom. And I think that is probably the biggest thing is just allowing our kids to understand that history is happening all around us. You can learn about it everywhere. Go to the museum and learn and understand that this happened hundreds of years ago. And look what they did. Look how they had to live. How did they communicate? They didn't even have video games. What did they do to occupy their time? How did they communicate with others? They didn't have cell phones, right? So really just being very intentional with that time with our kids. Reading, just reading a story with them. Sitting down and just grabbing it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be a chapter book. It could be a picture book. Right now, I still have Easter books on my floor in our classroom. And in between all of our little lessons that we have, the kids just are going over the books and just grabbing a book. They're easy picture books, and they're just excited to read them. There's no forcing it from me. I'm not telling them they have to read anything. It's right there, out in the open for them just to access easily. We'll keep getting to this, but obviously I had a lot to share there with you guys about this. And let's also talk about another not so fun thing about summer is maybe the guilt of not doing enough with our kids. Have you ever felt that? I know that I have, where I am a business owner. I record podcasts throughout the summer. I record videos. I create curriculum so then I'm setting my students and my families up for the next school year. So I do have to work throughout the summer. My husband works throughout the summer. Luckily, our jobs are flexible enough that we do have time to travel. We have time to go to the pool, to hang out with friends. But even then, even the times when I sit here and I have to work and say, okay, I'm going to work for this amount of time and then we're going to go to the pool. And the kids know that. They're excited for that. It's never guilt from them because they can find something to do. They're playing with friends outside or building Legos or who knows what, right? But it's that guilt of like, oh man, I want to be the one just kind of playing with them. I want to be building Legos. Or maybe you have a babysitter. I've done this before too, where I've had a sitter come and take them to the pool. And I stay here and work and stay dedicated and focused on my work with no interruptions. And while that's great and I love it, there's also that mom guilt of like, but I should be at the pool with my kids. Have you ever felt that? Especially if you really do have a full-time job, right? It can be a struggle, but I just want you to know that you are doing amazing. If you have had any of these feelings, you're not alone. And you are doing enough. You are loved. And today I'm going to share some ideas of how I can help make it even easier than you imagined to incorporate learning into your day, to embrace all of the moments and enjoy the summer with your kids. So let's talk about this. We did talk about some ways that your kids are learning, right? So let's talk about some simple ways to help keep your kids learning throughout the summer. Okay. So learning through play. You guys know, if you've been with me for a while, EduPlay Learning is all about learning through play. Literally, the name came from educational play dates. That's where EduPlay Learning came from. And I'm a huge advocate for it because it happens naturally. When our kids are playing, they are learning. So go on a nature walk. Maybe you do have to work. At 5:00, say, okay, 5:30, we're going for a walk. We're going to go and we're going to search for anything and everything that's out there. Maybe there's a waterfall that you can hike to. Maybe you are going to get to explore new trails. Just getting outside and enjoying that fresh air with your kids, no interruptions. You can leave the devices at home, put them on do not disturb mode, whatever that looks like. And just enjoy that time together. Conversations, how was your day? What did you do today? How was your call, Mom? And having our kids ask us those questions about like, well, how was your day? What did you do? Did you have a good call? Did you talk to anyone? Did you record some videos? What does that look like, right? Well, what did you build with your Legos? Just asking those very specific questions is going to open up the conversation. Scavenger hunts. So that could be a scavenger hunt that I have a few that I can put in the Facebook group that you guys can check out. or it could just be something you make up. And it could be something in the home. I've done rainbow scavenger hunts before where you have to find things that are all the colors of the rainbow. You could do letter scavenger hunts. You can do nature scavenger hunts. You can do community scavenger hunts. There may even be some that are in your community or places that you're traveling this summer. So look for that too. So that's a fun way to look at different things. Like if you did a community scavenger hunt, it might be, clues about the museum, or maybe it's a scavenger hunt in the museum or at the science center or at the park. So asking questions and engaging. That's a fun one too. Like you could just come up with some clues, even at the park, right? You would go to these to swing on. That would give it away. But you would go over there and then they could pick a new clue. So I don't know. There's just some ideas there. And definitely science experiments. I don't know about you, but my son, he loves science experiments. And every time he's like, I want to do more science. I want to do more science. And I'm like, okay, let's do it. So looking up science experiments for your kids, baking soda, vinegar, best thing ever. They just love it. They love to see it foam, easy cleanup. But there's plenty of science experiments out there. Definitely look up some of those. And if you're looking for some of these things, I do have ready to go ideas in the EduPlay Learning Activity Kits. They're packed with fun, hands-on activities that fit perfectly into the busy summer days. They're perfect for ages 2 to 5, and there's even practice in there for letter practice, number practice, math ideas, reading ideas, and even stories that you can read with your kids. Each week has a specific theme. Well, within the summer activity kit, I do monthly and I also do seasonal. So within the summer activity kit, there may be 7 different collections, but there's a theme for each of those collections. So as you're going through the summer, maybe 2 weeks at a time, you're like diving into one of the collections and you're like, this is all about the beach. So then you can go to the library and get all kind of books about the beach. And it goes with the EduPlay Learning collection. There's crafts in there. There's science experiments in there. There's recipes in there. There's songs. There's so much in addition to being a part of the EduPlay Learning community and getting connected with other families, maybe within your area and nationwide as well, which is kind of cool that we've made connections nationwide with families and become really good friends with families all over the U.S. So if you're interested in the EduPlay Learning Activity Kits, the seasonal ones or even monthly ones, definitely reach out. There's a form below that you guys can fill out for any of the services that I'll be sharing with you today. So it'll just give me a good idea of what you're looking for. You can always send me a DM on any social media platform, Facebook, Instagram. You can email me at Christine@eduplaylearning.com. There's so many ways for you guys to get connected with me. And I am excited to just meet your family where you're at. So I'm going to share some other ideas with you, but I just want you guys to know that there are ways to get connected, to share resources with your family that makes learning fun. It is not strenuous. It is not hard. It is something that you can open up the box. There are videos there if you want to watch the video and see Miss Christine teach. Your kiddos would probably enjoy that. There's an instructional video for you. And a lot of the times it's just something fun to do. And you could take it to the park. It's going to continue to practice those skills that they've learned over the year, or it's going to, introduce skills to them. So either way, I think it's a win-win. Does not take a lot of time, but perfect for kiddos that are looking for, and families that are just looking for a little bit more. 15, 20 minutes a day. It's not a lot of time. And you can incorporate calendar into that. I share calendar ideas, so many things that I could just share with the EduPlay activity kits. But there's other ideas that you guys can do with learning through play and like real life. And I talk about this within the activity kits. I talk about it here within the podcast. There's all kind of episodes on real life learning, but some of them I'll share with you today is taking your kids to the grocery store. I know that may sound horrible, but what if you took your shopping list and broke it up? What if even before that, before you even gave them a shopping list, you had them sit down with you at your family meeting that you hold once a week and you talked about what everyone wants for dinner. And then you made your meal, so it's not all on you, Mom. You made the meal plan together. You figured out what's for breakfast, lunch, and dinner because everyone's home for summer or not. Maybe they're going to camp and you have to pack a lunch still there too. And then maybe you have things in the evening, so dinner has to be quick. You need a crock pot meal or you need something to throw on the grill, right? We got a plan. And everyone's a part of this. And then you're taking that shopping list that you put together, giving everyone a piece of that shopping list, and whether you all go together as a family or they're responsible for the things on their shopping list. So pay attention and look for these items because you're going to have to find them and we have to look at the prices and compare. You can turn grocery shopping into a teaching moment. And if you want to make sure that it's not stressful, maybe you go at times that it's not busy. I know for us, we went to Costco on a Friday night about an hour before they closed, and it was the perfect time. Now, I just told you guys all my secret, but it was the perfect time to go because it was not busy at all. And it was so enjoyable to go through Costco and not have to feel like I was rushed or in someone's way. So going on a Sunday afternoon versus a Friday night made a huge difference. So think about that when going to the grocery store. Maybe it's an early morning trip, maybe it's a midday trip or an evening. Also incorporate the kids in cooking. Allow them to make their own recipes. Allow them to get messy. Allow them to have fun with learning because that's what it's all about. Messes can be cleaned up, but those experiences will last a lifetime. Let them explore. Let them try a new recipe. Let them get dirty. Let the kitchen be a mess and turn it into a memorable moment. Because those are the things that they're going to remember. Plus, whenever you're cooking, you can incorporate fractions, measurement, reading a recipe, all of those things within cooking. Trial and error, science, you can talk about different science topics, so many things. Another thing you can include your kids in is the budget. And of course, it could be very surface level conversation when your kids are there for maybe your budget meeting that you have with your spouse or whenever you go over and do your finances. But it's something that they should start hearing and start understanding because how are they going to learn about finances and how to manage money correctly if they don't learn about it? So think about that. Think about ways to incorporate and say, you know what, listen, right now we are trying to, and then tell them the goal. You know, we want to save up enough money so when we go to Disney, you guys have extra spending money there. So right now, maybe we don't go out to lunch this week. Maybe right now we have sandwiches and we have leftovers for lunch. So then that way we can save up our money for Disney. Or teaching them about their own spending and saving. If they earn money throughout the summer, and then are they going to spend it right away? Is it burning a hole in their pocket? Or are you going to teach them the value of saving it? And instead of buying 5 little trinket toys, they can save that money and buy a larger toy or Lego set or whatever they want. So think about these things and incorporate your kids into them. All the things that we do. Real life learning really is so powerful. And within the activity kits and the collections, I tie in real life learning all the time. Teaching moments is part of the curriculum because it's so important. And there are episodes on that you guys can check out too, all about teaching moments. All right, so let's talk more about those kind of real life learning things. So think about things that you do daily, the laundry, the dishes, warming up and making lunch, warming up water to make oatmeal, mailing a letter even, which I know we don't do that often, but maybe you do. Um, all of these small little tasks that you think like, oh, I just do them, right? They're just things that we do naturally and it's just part of our normal routine. What if you, mom, didn't have to do all of those things? What if you could work uninterrupted and ask your kids, hey, would you go ahead and go put your laundry in? Instead of asking them that question, because that can lead to, it should be a whole nother episode, honestly. That could lead to a, no, I don't want to do that, And sometimes you have to rephrase and say, go put in your laundry, right? And they already know how to do it. And they can switch the laundry and they can put the clothes where they need to go and they can put their clothes away and they can pack for vacation. Think about all the independence that you can be teaching your kids. And if you need help and guidance with that, if you're like, all right, those are great ideas, but how do I do it? Please reach out. Let's talk. Because that is part of what I do. We could do one-to-one calls. We could just do the Teaching Moments curriculum. So many ways that we can talk about how you can build confidence and independence into your home through everyday learning. Well, let's talk about reading now. Okay. How can we incorporate reading very easily into our day? Well, we can do reading challenges. All right. It depends on your kids, right? The ages, the levels of books, right? Maybe a chapter book, they would read one chapter book a week. Or if it's picture books, they would read 10 picture books a week. And then after so many books that they read, maybe even after every week, they get something, whether it's a star, whether it's a treat, whether it's extra time with you or time at the pool. I don't advocate for video games, but maybe it is 10 extra minutes of video games. Or maybe it's, we're going to go out and we're going to watch a movie together or a drive-in movie. I don't know. I know in Pittsburgh, there's some drive-in movies. I'm not sure if there's any here, but those are some fun things to do. We're going to go mini golfing, right? There's little things, little incentives to do for your kids to really want them to read or to get them excited to read. Going to the library. And again, with the EduPlay Learning Activity Kits, you can really be diving into some of those themes and say, okay, we're going to be learning about the ocean this week. Let's go to the library and pick out all these books about the ocean and the ocean animals and tell me about the ecosystem and all the things, right? Even though the activity kits are ages 2 to 7, I do have programs for next level. Because you could take these themes and you can say, well, what's the next step? And that's what we do at EduPlay Learning is we just say, what's the next step? And how can we take that one lesson or that one topic and make it so it's fun and engaging for all ages? Because there's always something to learn. And that is the beauty of it all. So what we could also do is we could talk about different reading. How do your kids like to learn how to read, right? Or how do they want to read? Maybe they want you to read to them at bed, right? Or maybe they want to read to their siblings or to the dog, or they want to go outside and read under the tree. So finding some fun ways to make reading happen in your home. And let's talk about reading, because what if you are like, listen, my kids are struggling with reading, and trust me, you're not alone in this either. Okay. Since the pandemic, I've seen a huge influx of struggling readers. And we can say that during that pandemic time, that kindergarten, first, second grade kiddos, it was a struggle for them to learn how to read during those years. We could also say it's the method that schools are teaching. It could be a certain teacher, it could be a certain school, district, and it could be a struggle. So what if your goal for your kids is to build a strong reading foundation for them? Well, guess what? I have a program for you. So the Reading Fundamentals program is a fun way to make reading happen without any overwhelm. Okay. And it's the perfect way to just enjoy 15 to 20 minutes a day on a quick little reading lesson with Miss Christine, and they get to build their confidence. That is what it's all about. Right now, the Reading Fundamentals program is perfect for those kiddos that are really struggling. They know their letters and they know their sounds, which if they don't, I have a letter program too. But they know their letters and they know their sounds, but they're struggling to put it all together. They're struggling to have that confidence to read. Well, the Reading Fundamentals is a fun way to make that happen. Very simple, very doable, and it's easy for you to as the parent. Okay. So I know a lot of parents say to me all the time, I just want to feel confident teaching my child how to read. Well, that's where we come in because it's step by step, all the tools, all the supplies that you need to help your child on this journey, plus videos from me and even some one-to-one support. So if that is one of your goals for the summer is like, I really want my child to read and to read well, I definitely have the Reading Fundamentals program for you. And then if we're on to the next level, I've got programs for you there too. So like I said, if you have questions about any of these, send me a message, send me an email, or fill out the form in the show notes. And then we will get on a call and we will talk out, what does this look like? How can I support you and your family on this educational journey this summer to make it fun, to make it no overwhelm, right? Just enjoy the summer while still practicing skills without losing anything. Okay. So I want you to keep that in mind. There's so many ways that I can help support you this summer. So a quick recap here because there's some of them I didn't even talk about. So lots of fun summer activities that I can support your family, whether it's reading, whether it's practicing skills from the previous year or preparing them for the upcoming year, right? A little bit of both there. Um, Maybe you're just looking for community. Maybe you're just like, I just need some other moms to talk to feel like I am not alone. I've got you covered there too. So the Home Education Collective is a community for moms to come together to feel supported, to get connected, and to share resources and ideas. So I answer all your questions. I share my resources and expert opinions and ideas and advice. And we get connected with other families from all over that are maybe struggling with some of the same things or are able to come together and share resources together. So the Home Education Collective, that is one way that you can get connected and, connect with other families. The EduPlay Learning Activity Kits, packed with tons of creative activities for learning through play. Again, perfect for ages 2 to 5, but they're great for a little bit older, a little bit younger. So again, fill out that form. Let's talk and figure out what the best activity and the best resource is for your family. The other thing that we have is the Reading Fundamentals program. So it's a great way to make learning and reading fun for your kids, building their confidence, and just becoming a great reader. I mean, really, that's what it's all about. If your kids are good readers, great readers, and they can do their basic math skills, you're setting them up for success. Those two things are so important to really continue to build their confidence. So keep that in mind. The Reading Fundamentals program, definitely a way I can support you and your family along the way. And then if none of these, you're like, no, these don't really fit, I do offer one-to-one support. Okay. So if you're looking for a personalized way to walk with your family and come up with a learning plan just for your family, whether it's just for the summer, like, hey, I need a little bit of support on what do I do for this summer? How do I navigate our schedules, all the things, and still incorporate a little bit of education without them being on video games all day long? I'm right here. I'm right here to walk alongside you, come up with a plan, and be able to support you on that journey. Or maybe you're like, listen, I think I want to homeschool for next year, but I don't know how to start. I don't know what to do, right? All the questions. What if I'm not good enough? What if I don't know what curriculum to use? I've got you. I can support you and walk alongside you and set you up for success as well. Which then that leads into the final thing that I do have to offer is called the EduPlay Learning Academy. And I do that virtually right now, but eventually it will be an actual academy that we can go to in multiple cities. But the virtual academy is creating an educational plan for your child or children that is setting them up for success on their educational journey. So that is another support that I offer for you guys. So just remember, summertime is not about doing everything. Don't feel like you have to rush through the whole bucket list of all the things that everyone wants to do. And if you don't do them, and then you feel like a failure. That's not it. It's about slowing down, creating intentional time, and enjoying all the moments in between. The messy middle, making dinner or lunch or breakfast in the kitchen, snuggling up and reading on the couch, going in the backyard and finding bugs and turtles and anything else that you can find in nature. Those are the moments. It doesn't have to be a huge, lavish summer. Just all those small moments that are intentional. And then incorporating education into that. So if you want to keep things simple but meaningful, I would love to support you throughout the summer with the EduPlay Learning resources, the activity kits, the community, one-to-one, whatever that looks like for your family. So remember, that information is all in the show notes below, and you guys can check that out. You can fill out the form, and you can get in contact with me so we can chat on all social media platforms, the Home Education Expert on Instagram and EduPlay Learning, Christine Furman on Facebook, EduPlay Learning on both platforms. I even have some Momspiration 412 communities. So lots of ways to get connected. So definitely reach out. You can send me an email. The easiest way is to join the Home Education with Ease Facebook group and share what is that one goal that you have for your kids this summer, or for even your family, right? Maybe it is a slow, quiet, stress-free summer. Maybe that's your goal. And that is a beautiful goal. Well, remember, learning, it doesn't have to be the same all the time. It can be different. And summertime is no exception. It doesn't have to be a break from learning. We don't have to stop learning. We just learn it in a different way and have fun with it. Well, thank you guys so much for being here with me today. I just want to send you lots of love and hugs and just remind you that you are doing an amazing job. See you next time, friends. Thank you for tuning in to the Home Education with Ease podcast. I hope today's episode left you feeling empowered and ready to take the next steps on your home education journey. Your support means the world to me. Please subscribe, leave a review, and share with a friend. For even more resources, be sure to join the free Facebook group, Home Education with Ease, and visit eduplaylearning.com to explore our programs and subscription kits. You can find the links and any other links mentioned in this episode in the show notes below. Remember, you're not alone. This community is here to support you every step of the way.